Hey, what is going on, guys? It's DK back at you with another video here. It's rating the 4-game NBA main slate on Thursday. A couple things before I get into the video. If you're new to the channel, my name's DK. I make daily videos talking about NBA DFS as well as NFL DFS. I'm also running a weekly $20 PayPal giveaway on my channel. How it works, all you have to do is leave a like and a comment in the video. That's one entry in the giveaway. Max one comment up per video. So I started with my Monday NBA video a few days ago. We'll go throughout the week. We'll end up my Monday night video at the end of the week. So however many videos I've uploaded for the week, you can end the giveaway that many times. So say if I have 10 videos uploaded for the week, you can enter the giveaway 10 times. And again, the winner sees $20 PayPal for myself. But with that out of the way, let's jump into the video. So let's look back on the lineup here from Wednesday. And this is one of those, oh, what could have been nights. Yeah, I am kicking myself, guys. So first, let's talk about my core, my live stream. I've been giving away my core plays now the last few days. My core in the live stream that I gave away for you guys, that everyone that came to check out the live stream, was James Harden, Trae Young, who was enormous, 80 fantasy points, and then Eric Gordon and Bobby Portis. Eric Gordon, solid value play. Bobby Portis, really solid there in the first half. But it's just one of those nights because my original build had Clint Capella in with Harden and Trae Young and a bunch of value guys, and that would have been, I would be making four digits right now. Like I would be making thousands of dollars. So yeah, I'm really kicking myself. The reason why I pivoted off Capella, I should have stuck with it, but it's because Beal got ruled out. I wanted to get McRae in there. McRae just got limited completely, only 21 minutes. It was him or Troy Brown that I liked on the Washington side. I went with McRae. It was Troy Brown that went off. Again, it always seems Washington. Whoever comes out the bench is the guy that goes off. But yeah, guys, I might lose some sleep here because I'll be winning a lot of money if I would have stuck with Capella there. And then Michael Porter Jr., the one letdown here. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice. Wait, I said that wrong. Whatever. That was my fault for going there. Once he was not in the starting lineup, I should have pivoted off him. Now I did go to Jeremy Grant there, who was huge at 3.3K, but I left Michael Porter Jr. in. That was definitely a mistake on my part. Once he was not announced a starter, I knew, like Mike Malone, you just couldn't trust it, and he burned me again. I think Porter Jr. only played like 13 minutes. Yeah, you guys know my hatred for Mike Malone, and I fell for it again. But yeah, enough of that. Other guys, right? Again, Harden, Gordon, Bobby Portis, Trae Young in my core. Trae Young at 9.7K. He's my favorite play of the day. 80 fantasy points. He was huge. Jeremy Grant was really, really solid for his price. Thaddeus Young landed there once he was inserted in the starting lineup at 5.4. 35 fantasy points, more than enough. But again, the two letdowns here, Michael Porter Jr., McRae. Again, what could have been my core there with Capella, and then I had Josh Hart instead of Michael Porter Jr., and yeah, it would have been a massive night. So one of those, it's gonna hurt for a couple days for sure, but hopefully you guys made some money. Again, that core was really, really solid. Basically, if you play Trae Young, you're gonna cash. So yeah, hopefully you guys made some good money, and let's see if we can keep this going here for Thursday's short 4-game slate. But yeah, that's one of those where it's going to hurt for a couple days for sure, man, because I would be making thousands of dollars. But sometimes that's how it goes in DFS. It's a tilting game, right? But the good thing is there's always another slate where we can make some good money. So let's jump into it. Let's look. I guess they only do have one game out right now as far as over-unders and spreads. We have Cavs Pistons sitting at 220 with the Pistons favored by 7 points. All right, let's talk about it. So we got, again, 4 games. This Boston-Philly game is a game that I don't have a whole lot of interest in. 2 very solid defensive teams, 2 teams that play at a slower pace. Cleveland, Detroit, it does spark my interest a bit here. I'll talk about some plays there. Portland, Minnesota. I do like a couple players on the Portland side. And in Minnesota, it's just so hard to trust the rotations. Again, we still have cat status up in the air. But this late night hammer here, Houston, OKC, this is the game I want a lot of exposure to. I'm pretty sure this is going to be the highest over-under of the night. But yeah, that is the game I want the most exposure to as of right now. We'll start with center. Cat, again, I'm going to assume he's out. If he plays, I don't mind him here. 11.1 is kind of a lot for a guy that's missed, the last 11 games. If he misses, we can consider the secondary pieces, but it's really hard to trust Ryan Sanderson's rotations. They're just running a deep, 10-man rotation. The minutes are very inconsistent for everyone. No one's playing big minutes on the Minnesota side, so it's kind of hard to trust. We got Drummond here at 10.2. Just played Cleveland, 38 minutes, 61 fantasy points, had a 20-20 game. I'm perfectly fine going back here at this price. Again, Detroit is just so depleted that Drummond is going to have to do it all basically for this offense. So again, I am perfectly fine here with Drummond as a spend up at 10.2K. No issue with that at all. We do have Joel Embiid out for this one. So I know I said that that game in general is not super appealing, but I'll talk about some of the Philly guys. Like Horford or revenge game spot is viable, right? But we have seen I forget. I think it was the early slate when there was an early slate about a week ago. Embiid was out. They played the Pacers, and Horford and Tobias, the guys who you would think would step up with no Embiid, just completely busted. So I don't think Horford and Tobias are great plays, but I think they are better here, obviously, with no Embiid. Whiteside at 9.3. Again, this guy is just playing the big minutes. It doesn't really matter the matchup. This matchup's good here no matter what here against Minnesota. If Cat plays, that's even a better matchup. He's been amazing. And right now, at this level, at his price, I think he's slightly underpriced. He's going to get you a double-double. He's probably going to get you, a few blocks at least. And, Minnesota plays at a fast pace. So I have interest in Whiteside. I think he goes lower owned compared to a guy like Drummond. I think the flocks are going to go to Drummond. I think maybe the safer play is Drummond just because Detroit doesn't have a whole lot of guys that can score the ball besides Drummond, whereas Portland, right, with that Lillard, CJ, Melo, they got a lot of guys who can score the ball. So I think Whiteside does make for an interesting pivot off of Drummond. I think you can play both centers if you want to. I have interest in both those guys. Kevin Love at 7.7K had a pretty big game that last time out against Detroit, 36 minutes. That's the most minutes we've seen from Kevin Love in a while. 30 real-life points, 49 fantasy points. Price at 7.7. I don't think I'm going to go there. I think I will let others chase this. I don't know if he has that upside in him again. I just think I prefer other plays on this slate. Capella at 7.5K. We just saw what he did against Atlanta. 36 minutes, 58 fantasy points. Again, I'm going to be kicking myself for a while, for sure, because thousands of dollars guys I lost out on. But yeah, that's DFS. Capella, again, 35 or so minutes. The matchup, I guess, against Steven Adams is not necessarily the best, but it really doesn't matter at this price and the minutes he's getting. So very much in play there, Capella. And even Steven Adams, I think, is very much in play here at 6.9K. So there are a lot of solid centers with no Nerlens Noel. He's gotten 35 and 36 minutes in back-to-back games. If he's going to continue to play those type of minutes, you have to have interest in Steven Adams here. So, yeah, I like Steven Adams as well. I believe we have Noel out. Yep, he's already out for this one. So I think that kind of locks in the minutes for Steven Adams. Tristan Thompson at 6.4K. I just don't think we have to do it, right? We have Whiteside and Drummond at the top. We have Capella and Adams for a little bit more. I just love the upside of these guys more than Tristan Thompson, so don't think we have to go there. Gorgie Jang, if Cat is out, you can consider, but it's just so hard to trust these rotations for Ryan Sanders. He does have upside in limited time, so I guess I don't hate it, but not going to be the way that I go. Al Horford, right? So no Embiid. It's a revenge spot. You would think he would stand out as a really good play, but we saw this game against the Pacers. I believe it was this one. Yeah, New Year's Eve. 29 minutes, 14 fantasy points. So he's not a lock to be a great fantasy play here. Now, I definitely think he is a pretty solid play because him playing center is just a boost to his fantasy appeal. But again, we saw him bust in a similar spot here against the Pacers. So just thought I'd bring that up. I think Horford's okay for sure. Kyle Quinn, they priced him way up, I guess, for this reason. With Embiid out, he did play 26 minutes in that game with no Embiid. At 4.9, that's just too much for me to pay for Kyle Quinn. Enes Kanter at 5.4K. The minutes are slowly going down on him. I just like the other center options on the slate. Christian Wood at 4.4. The minutes went way down for him. Only 13 minutes the last game. Obviously I would like if he gets 25 to 30, but right now the minutes are too fluky for me to trust that. PJ Tucker, 4.1. Had a big game that game against Atlanta. 34 minutes, 37 fantasy points. Again, with no Russell Westbrook, there's a lot of rebounds. Around 17 rebounds for PJ Tucker. I think he's an okay value option, but I would not expect 37 from him again. Daniel Tice at 4K. He's an okay value play, right? Not a guy that has huge upside, but probably gets you 15 to 25 fantasy points, somewhere in that range. Henson and Zizic, not for me, with Love and Tristan Thompson healthy. And that basically wraps it up. So yeah, again, center, my main targets here are Drummond and Whiteside at the top, and then Capella and Steven Adams there in the mid-range. If we move on to power forward, Tobias Harris. So kind of my same analysis with Al Horford. We saw in this match against the Pacers. We thought that Tobias and Al Horford would have the big game with no Embiid. They did not. They both busted. So even with Embiid out, there's a lot of usage to go around, but it doesn't necessarily mean these guys are going to have great games. So I'm fine with Al Horford. I'm fine with Tobias Harris. I just don't think they stand out as like great plays. Now, between Horford versus Tobias, I might lean Horford just for the fact that he's like $1,300 less, and you do have the revenge spot. Even though, just thought I'd bring this up, revenge game narratives have been really bad this year. Like, people have been busting in revenge spots. Just thought I'd bring that up. Like, it has not been the same that it has been in the past years. Like, normally a revenge spot, like a guy wants revenge, but this year it's been kind of a letdown for guys going back in revenge spots. Tatum at 6.7. So DraftKings did do a good job making these guys affordable, right? Because Tatum was like 8K. With Kemba there too in a tougher spot, I just don't see a whole lot of appeal in this Boston-Philadelphia game. Carmelo Anthony at 6.6. He's okay, but again, I don't think I would go there. Hayward, kind of the same thing with Tatum. Gallinari is out, so that's just to boost those OKC guys. It's CP3, it's SGA, it's Schroeder, and Steven Adams. I don't even think I would consider those secondary pieces on OKC. It's really those four guys that I have a good amount of interest in because Houston plays at just such a fast pace. Sekou at 5.8, I can't do it at this price. He has been getting good minutes, but 5.8K just feels like a little bit too much to pay for him. Covington at 5.7, again, it's just kind of hard to trust these minutes. He has gotten consistent, 33, 30, 34, 32. I just don't know if he has huge upside with Wiggins now back. Possibly, I guess, Cat could come back, Teague's back. So I'm okay with Covington, but probably not going to go out of my way to play him. C.D. Osman at 4.7K. So the minutes have been pretty secure for him with no Porter Jr. He's gotten 35, 30, and 36 minutes in 3 straight games. Again, not a guy that has huge upside, though, when he plays alongside Kevin Love and Tristan Thompson. So one of those, I'm fine with him if you land on it, but I don't know if he has huge upside. Tony Snell, not for me. House at 4.2 with Westbrook back. Again, these secondary Houston pieces are just With Westbrook and Harden playing, those guys just demand so much usage in that offense. Now, guys like Mike Scott, James Ennis, they'll probably get a little more run here as far as value guys go, but they're very, very low usage. I don't know if we have to go there either. They could start one of these guys. We'll see, but still, Philly has they have a lot of bodies they can still use, so I don't think those guys really stand out as great plays. Let's see, Noah Vonleh, did he get a decent run? No, he only had 14 minutes the last game. I think that basically wraps it up. So let's move on to small forward. Ben Simmons here at 9K. Again, this game in general just not super appealing, but with no Embiid, that is a lot of usage around. So I'm fine if you land on literally any of those other 4 guys, whether it be Al Horford, whether it be Tobias, whether it be Ben Simmons, whether it be Josh Richardson. I just wouldn't go crazy and load up on those guys. I think 1 is probably an optimal way to go. Play 1 of those guys, maybe 2 in the high end, but I would not go crazy with my Philadelphia exposure here. But yeah, Ben Simmons at 9K right now with for his level of production and with no Embiid, he does seem a little bit underpriced, even in a tough spot. Wiggins kind of let a lot of people down the other night. 33 minutes, only 24 fancy points. Yeah, I'm okay with it, but probably not going to be the way that I go on this 4-game slate. Yeah, Brown, Hayward, Tatum, like, they're all priced okay. Like, DraftKings did price him down for the bad matchup. I'm okay if you land on one of those, but no one really stands out to me. Josh Richardson at 5.6. The good thing with him is the minutes, 40, 30, 39, and 37. Not a guy that has like enormous upside, but again, I'm fine if you land on one or two of those Philadelphia guys, those big four of Tobias, Al Horford, Josh Richardson, and Ben Simmons. Still no Luke Kennard. Again, Detroit pretty short-handed. Bruce Brown coming out the bench. He's starting. He's just not getting enough minutes. Like, he's okay option, but I liked it when he was playing into the mid-30s minutes. Now he's kind of getting limited to like below 30. Eric Gordon at 4.1. I'm okay with it for GPPs, but with Westbrook and Harden in that lineup, again, there's just not a lot of shots to go around really when those two are both in the offense. So I'm okay with that. The price, he can knock down threes, but again, it doesn't stand out as like a great play to me. Bazemore 3.6. Don't think we have to do it. Basley probably picks up the start, but he's not going to get big minutes. That's why I don't think we have to consider the secondary OKC pieces. McLemore did have a pretty solid game. He got 32 minutes, 26 fantasy points. But again, with Westbrook now back, I don't know if I would chase that game. And that's basically it. So let's move on to shooting guard. So guard, this is where I like a lot of plays here. Harden at 12.2 is a perfectly fine spend up. In the game against Atlanta, shot the ball 34 times. 9 of 34 he shot it and still put up 81 fantasy points. That's just insane. Imagine if he shot like 50%. He would have put up like over 100 fantasy points. Now this is not as good of a spot against Atlanta, but still, it's James Harden. It's a 4-game slate too. He has enormous upside, even with Westbrook in that lineup. So I'm perfectly fine if you get to Harden there. It's just whether or not you feel comfortable with the value guys around him. Now the OKC guys. So the OKC guys really stand out to me in the game that should be played at a really fast pace here. SGA, Chris Paul, Schroeder. I like all those guys. The minutes are massive for these guys. No Gallinari. There's more usage to go around. So I do like a lot of the OKC guys. CJ McCollum at 6.8K I think is a perfectly fine option. Again, he's one of those guys that is normally pretty consistent and then will have that one upside game like every once in a while. At this price, he's not going to kill you. I think his range of outcomes is somewhere between like 25 on the low end as a floor and then up to 40, even 50 on a really good night. So I'm okay with CJ there at that price. I think he's slightly underpriced. Derrick Rose I do like for GPPs. The good thing with him now is the minutes. He was playing in the mid-20s minutes, but recently 28, 29, and 31 minutes that last game against Cleveland. And again, I've talked about how Detroit's so short-handed. It's basically him and Drummond are the main guys in this offense. I do like Derrick Rose a decent amount here as a GPP option. I really like Schroeder here at 6.1. Coming off the bench, 37 and 35 minutes with no Gallinari. He's had kind of mediocre games, but this is the type of game where I could see an upside game from him. I just like all the OKC guards, really. Him, SGA, Chris Paul, I like all of them. I just like this game a lot in general. So, I think he really stands out with that price. Sexton at 5.9, not for me. Marcus Smart with Kemba back, I'll pass. Shabazz Napier is intriguing, but again, only 24 minutes the last game. They extended Jeff Teague. They just you really cannot trust the rotations from Minnesota. You can't. Like, can you take shots on some of these guys? Sure. But I can't recommend it with confidence just because these minutes are all over the place. Culver had a big game that last game, 28 minutes, 36 fantasy points. He has had 4 out of 5 games with over 30 fantasy points. One of those, I'm a little bit undecided here because I think he's going to be pretty popular because of these recent games, and he does seem a little bit underpriced. This is a short 4-game slate. I'm only going to be playing GPPs. If I think his ownership is going to be that high, I'll probably look elsewhere. But I don't mind it at all. For right now, he's been playing pretty solid basketball. Brandon Knight at 4.6, they raise him up. You obviously can't go there at this price. Svi Mikhailuk, I just don't trust these Detroit secondary pieces. Like, he'll get about 30 or so minutes. He's a very, very low usage guy. You got to hope he knocks down those corner threes. I just think I think it's kind of Drummond and D Rose, and that's it for me on the Detroit side. Again, with no Kevin Porter Jr., no Dante Exum, so that does open up minutes for the Cavs, but still nothing really stands out as far as those guards go. But I think that is basically it. Like, Diallo's not getting enough. Again, these OKC guys, like, no one's, besides his main four, no one's just getting big minutes. Like, Terrence Ferguson is getting big minutes, but he's just so bad. You can, like, he played 40 minutes and got 10 fantasy points. You can't consider this guy. All right, but let's move on to point guard. So, I already talked about Harden. Again, I love his upside. If you feel comfortable with those value guys, definitely try to get him in there if you can. Damian Lillard at 8.9. I do kind of like the price here. Minnesota playing at a faster pace. This game in general should be pretty appealing. I like the Portland side more, though, just because, again, I can't really trust Ryan Sanders in those rotations from Minnesota. So, that's why I like the Portland side more, like Lillard, CJ, Whiteside. Those guys stand out as pretty good options. We know he's going to play the big minutes. Even with CJ back in that lineup, he can still have upside games. So I think Damian Lillard is a pretty solid play there at 8.9. But the reason I'm not super excited about him is because we have Russell Westbrook here at 8.4. He's going to be the ultimate chalk. I just talked about how guys have been busting in revenge spots, but I'll be eating the chalk here for sure on Westbrook. Going back to OKC. 8.4K is just way too cheap. He's going to be probably 80-90% owned. Again, I'll be eating the chalk here for sure. I think he stands out as the best play right now on the slate. And then I also like Chris Paul. Revenge spot here. He's probably going to want to have a big game here against the team that traded him away. The minutes have been secure for him. No Gallinari. There's more usage to go around. So I just like a lot of guys in this game. I like, Harden, Westbrook, and Capella. And then I like the guards here in OKC. I like Steven Adams. There's just a lot to like in this game. So I do like Chris Paul getting him out 2 in a revenge spot. Kemba Walker, so we got ejected that last game. Only played 18 minutes, so he should be somewhat fresh. This is a situation where I actually don't mind him at this price. Like, he is a little bit too cheap. He's about $1,000 too cheap, maybe a little bit more. Now, again, really tough spot here, but 6.5K for a guy that, again, he got ejected. He should be fresh. So I do think Kemba Walker stands out as a pretty good option here. Jeff T, again, like Teague, Napier, Colt, like, you can take shots on these guys, but I just don't feel great about it. I just, the minutes are so up and down. Garland at 4.8, he's playing the big minutes, but I don't know if he has the huge upside. I'm okay with that as a value play, but he doesn't really stand out as a great play. And yeah, that basically wraps it up. So short 4-game slate here. Again, the big news is I guess, the revenge spot there for Westbrook, as well as Chris Paul. No Embiid. That opens more up for the Philadelphia offense. But yeah, I think that is going to do it for today's video, guys. So if you have been enjoying the content, would really appreciate it if you could like this video and subscribe. Again, if you want to get entered in the giveaway, all you do is leave a like and a comment in the video that's one for the giveaway. I will be live streaming for this short 4-game slate, probably 30 to 40 minutes before locks, and it's only a 4-game slate. I will give my core plays there. Be sure to check out the live stream. The core plays I gave for today: James Harden, Trae Young, Eric Gordon, Bobby Portis. You don't want to miss it. So be sure to check out the live stream, as well as follow me on Twitter. That will be in the description below. But yeah, thanks again for everyone to come and check the video, guys, and I will see you all tomorrow in the live stream.